up, everybody? So glad to see you. Thank you so much for joining us as we are getting ready for Gospel Fest 2023. And I hope that you've already got your tickets. If you haven't, then I want to invite you to go to gospelfest.co and I want you to grab up those tickets, especially if you want the VIP tickets, because the VIP tickets is going to be the route to go. This is what I'm talking about. Reserved up close seating. No waiting in line to enter. You're going to get a free tour of Loretta Lynn's home, 20% discount on all Gospel Fest merch, as well as 10% discount on all of your food. So if you would like the VIP weekend experience, you can get that just by going to gospelfest.co, and that is where you can get your tickets. This year is going to have a lineup unlike any other. And one of the guys that I am so personally excited about being there, because I call him a dear friend, is this guy right here, Mr. Scott Whitener of Carolina.
Hey, Mickey Bell.
How are you, brother? Man, listen, every time I pull up my Facebook, and I don't know if it's just because I like all of your posts, but it just seems like that Carolina is just like all over the Facebook feeds because you guys are everywhere.
Well, perhaps it seems that way. Here's what we know. We play a certain amount of dates every month. And so because we do that, we're able to pick and choose where we go. For the most part, it works out pretty good. But the folk that help push us, they're really good at getting the word out there and actually doing the back shows too, to let folk know how things went. So I guess you see a lot from us, but the main thing is to have that presence out there and stay in touch with the people who love you and want to follow you.
Absolutely.
You do it great.
It costs money. It costs money.
Yes, it does.
So now I have seen pictures, and of course I know about this, so I'm going to act like I've just been seeing it on Facebook, but you guys have been performing with Elvis. I mean, come on, that's pretty cool.
Well, years ago, probably 7 years ago now, I got a call from a mutual friend of ours, Angela Griffin, who said there's an ETA. We didn't even know what it meant.
What is an ETA?
Elvis tribute artist.
Okay.
And they said he's real good. As a matter of fact, he's originally from right there in Shelby. And they told us his name, Travis Powell, all those things. And they said he's doing a show in Sanford, North Carolina, and he needs a J.D. Sumner and the Stamps like group. And I knew you guys could do that stuff. So That's kind of where it started, was with that thing. So we played that first show with him and a band, a backing band called the TCB Experience band. And we just fell in love with it. And the opportunity to be able to sing 20, 30 minutes of gospel songs up front, like JD and the guys did for Elvis. And then during those shows, we'd get to go do songs that Elvis loved, like The Lighthouse and Sweet, Sweet Spirit. Their acapella version, How Great Thou Art, that stuff, as well as backing him up on some of the other things that just really are great American songs, and we've fallen in love with just doing it. It's afforded us to go to places we would have never gotten to go, sing to folks that we would have never gotten to sing to, because, he's a king. He's just not the king, but he is a king, and so he still has quite a cult following. And the movie that came out last year just threw gas
opened
on
it up.
So we're going to Elvis Week this year and a whole bunch of different things. We're going to be at Graceland backing up Bill Cherry, who was the 2009 international champion of ETA.
Dude, that is so cool.
It's big doings, man. We love getting to do that. It's just an expansion of our territory.
So in a sense, you guys are getting to experience exactly what J.D. Sumner and the Stamps and the Imperials got to experience, and the fact that you're being put in
Yeah.
front of new people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Every time we go out, we not just make new fans, but I'll tell you, the chance to get to speak with people who come by and say something like, I'm here because of Elvis, but I love gospel music. And you talk with them a few minutes and you find out they really don't have a relationship with Jesus, but they're searching. And so you get to sow some seed, or some of them will just say, hey, would you pray with me? Man, sometimes I feel like I get a lot more done in that environment than other places. And
well, I mean, when you're not entertaining the saints, I mean, you're able
I get
to
it. Yeah,
actually go in.
I'm with you on that. And sometimes that can be, a tough place.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That can be a tough place when you're just.
That's another show, Scott. That's another show we'll do whenever we're done with our careers. We'll expose and talk all about it. All right, so exactly. But so it's opened up some new doors, got to see some new people. But do you get a feeling of maybe kind of, I know the level is totally different, but still, do you get a sense of the feeling of what it might have felt like?
Yeah, it sometimes it'll take your breath, because some of these guys have studied every move. Like Travis Powell told us, he said, on the days that I'm not doing Elvis, I will school myself on his videos and things of that nature for 8 hours a day. So it's become a not only a career, but it's become like a work ethic and a job to these guys.
Good.
And some of their profiles are spot on. They're the kinetics and the voice that Elvis had, they've been able to find that. And some of these guys will literally just take your breath when they come out and do that little walk across stage. Then they start backing up and they turn and look at you with those eyes.
Yes.
I mean, Bill Cherry's got the eyes. When he turns around and looks at you and it's got those eyes, I'm telling you, it's like your heart about jumps out of your chest. It's crazy.
Goodness. What other artist, though, other than Elvis, what other artist out there has all of these tributes going around and making a living out of pretending to be somebody?
Well,
it's crazy.
But tribute stuff is the biggest drawing stuff right now, by and large, as the whole. Because we run the PACs, the Performing Arts Centers and fairs and festivals, and we see a lot. There are Journey tribute groups, Foreigner tribute groups, Mac Davis, Oak Ridge Boys, all this stuff. There's all kinds of tribute groups and artists out there that are doing a great job. And so as long as they're doing that, it doesn't have a chance of dying. And that great American music that we all grew up on and that our grandmothers or grandfathers loved, our moms and dads, that we know just because it's been handed down, and good stuff should be handed down. Mm-hmm. It's alive and it's flourishing. And everybody looks at those sound exchange checks, every month. The guys that are doing that in tribute are making a great living. And the guys that are not doing it anymore, that are being paid tribute to, are also still earning, some monetary funds from it. And it's just, it's good. The music ain't dying.
Well, if I could get my hair to grow out, I would be studying Scott Whitener right now.
Oh yeah, I know.
So that way, if I could, one day pay tribute to my buddy.
What would that sound like? What exactly would that sound like? How many?
Still working on it.
Pitches would you have to hit?
Still working on it. I'm studying. I'm in that process of studying. But no, Carolina, you guys have just been, I have been so excited for you guys for things like this, events like this, but then in the Southern gospel realm or in the Southern country gospel realm, 40 Days at the Ark. You guys are a part of stuff like that. You've been a part of Singing in the Sun.
Yeah.
So when it comes Memphis Quartet show, so
Right.
when it comes to even the Southern gospel stuff, it's not that you guys are doing the Memphis show or the Elvis shows because you can't get gigs. I mean,
Right.
that's just the cream on the top because you guys are actually staying busy within the industry.
Well, you know, by and large, we still, I mean, man, we love it as much as we ever have, and it was our mantra for a lot of years, you know, and we can still stand shoulder to shoulder and stand still.
Yeah,
It's
you
not in
can.
me, but I can still do it, uh, you know, and for goodness sakes, we could even still put on a suit, you know, and still do occasionally and do some things that you know, it calls it calls for, that the evening calls for, or whatever. But we love our peers. They love us back. We enjoy being with them. You know, Memphis Quartet show was great because I saw a bunch of old
Oh yeah.
friends and
Yeah.
fans out there that I hadn't seen, and some of them in maybe 20 years.
Well, that's what I want to talk about. We're talking to Scott Whitener of Carolina. Carolina is going to be a part of Gospel Fest, and we want to let you know that you can get your tickets to see Carolina along with the Hoppers. The Gatlin brothers are going to be there. We're going to have a sisters reunion. Gold City, the Inspiration Shuckwagon Gang, Troy Burns Family, New Ground, just so many others are going to be there. And so you can get your tickets by going to gospelfest.co. But Scott, I also wanted to talk to you because a lot of exciting things are happening for Carolina. But my goodness, you are so respected in the industry only because of the history that you have in this business. I mean, when it comes to knowing and being a part of great quartets, all male quartets, man, you've been the guy.
Well, um, I, I loved every minute of it. I loved it all. And occasionally people, you know, other people grab an old video off of YouTube and they'll bring it out and say, hey, y'all, looky here or something. And you get to see it again. And when you look at it,
Yeah.
it's like you're there again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the good part. It's like it's tonight. I remember that time. I remember where we were, um, and that kind of thing. But I sung with some amazing people. My time with the Singing Americans, you know, I was there right at 5 years. I had a pretty good tenure for, you know, for that, because I mean,
Right.
that group never, Charlie Burton never had a bad group. Every group that he had could sing the walls down. I mean, it was just great. Our time singing there was where we really got our education, so to speak, um, into all the aspects of 4-part harmony. Clayton Inman, not only was he a brother and still is, and one of the great stylists of all time, but man, he was more than a friend to me. He was a mentor. He had this easy way about him, still does. He's just a brother, and then Scotty, you know, he rode the bus with us as a little 2 and 3 year old occasionally, and so I grew up. He grew up around me also there on the bus, but all those times singing Americans, and then Dwayne and I spawning off and starting Jericho. I mean, it was a powerhouse group. It hit the big church market, you know, and that was back when the big church market was open and available to us.
Yeah.
And you're going, all of a sudden you're going and singing in major churches that have 3 and 4 and 5,000 people in them, you know, because of the style. We called it it didn't have a place to live. We called it Southern Inspirational. It was just, I think, probably a little ahead of its time. A lot of guys do that kind of thing now, but man,
Right.
what vocal stallions came out of that group, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But you guys, it was so good. Oh, it
John
was so good.
Mill and Clip, all those guys. I mean, man, it was a killer time. And then into Melody Masters, where Doc and I, you know, started together. It was just so good. That was just happenstance. That was a phone call that said, why don't you run down here Tuesday night and let's sing a little bit? No pressure, no nothing. We're not going to do anything. And the first thing I know, first thing I know, we're taking dates, and the next year we sung about 180 times. So
Wow.
from not doing anything to kind of making it up there with that, and that clear, defined sound of uh, what a true gospel quartet was all about, and being able to bring it and dot the I's and cross the T's and speak to people and be an inspiration to people. I mean, it was a great ride. And then that just morphed off, once we retired, Doc and I thought we were through. And then all of a sudden he calls one day and says, right up here and let's get around to piano. Maybe we'll do a reunion concert. So we did
And it's turned into what it is today.
and the phone started ringing again.
I hear you.
So there you go. And here comes Carolina, and it's morphed several times into a full band. So, I mean, that's where, man, it's been a great ride, and I've sung with some amazing talent through these years, and I am grateful for every bit of it. Yeah.
Scott Whitener of Carolina joining us as we are getting ready for Gospel Fest that's taking place at Loretta Lynn's Ranch, Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, August the 23rd through the 27th. And if you want to go, you can actually choose Carolina to be your host group because they are taking a group with them. And if you would like to go and hang out with Scott and all the guys while you are there, then you just need to go to Carolina's website, get a hold of Scott, and he can give you all the details of what you need to do to be a part of that. But Gospel Fest is going to be huge. We're going to talk more about that. Scott, tell me how it ended up being Carolina, the country. I'm going to say country gospel, and that's not an insult because my goodness. I mean, you guys are solid in that realm of travel.
Yeah. Well, a change, a vocal member change kind of instigated that. When we first started the Carolina Quartet there, 2006, our longtime bass vocalist Lamar Levi with us then, we had a more defined Southern gospel sound. Mm-hmm. But I've always been, an Oak Ridge Boys man. Nobody has to ask me who my favorite group is.
Right.
Everybody knows.
Right.
And everybody knows how much I appreciate and respect the ace, Dwayne Allen. But, it's just these guys. Golden's been my singing hero for as long as even when they were in gospel music, and he wore his hair back, and man, that's the prettiest man I ever saw, and could he present songs. So when Lamar retired because of health issues, he came up with some kind of an infantile asthma thing that got him, and he felt like he needed to leave the road, and we took on Chris Parker immediately. Our sound changed, and generally your lead singer and your bass singer in a quartet kind of foundationalizes your sound.
They kind of define it. Yes,
it does. And
it defines it. So
all of a sudden we find ourselves with this big, wide Oak Ridge Boys style country sound that I am just, and so it took a little bit, we had to kind of say, guys, there's a market there, and we can still belong and a little different, and not set ourselves apart, but expand our territory and make the niche larger. We can broaden this thing. So we started in that little by little. We didn't make any great big changes overnight, but it's just transformed through those years. But that's what started it was a vocalist change to get that big wide country sound. And I've recreated, if you know that, if you look at the old videos, I don't place and operate vocally the way I did 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. I've thinned that sound and brought it a little more out front, and it's more of a country sound, which I love, and I can sing there forever because there's no
Yeah.
pressure on it. I'm not having to manufacture anything. I'm a country boy, so it's natural. You know,
I'm loving it.
you hear,
Now there is a
you hear the way
song.
I talk and know that.
There is a song that will come on Prime Country, and I can't remember the song, but I think it's by Brooks and Dunn, and I don't think it's Kix that's singing it. It may be him singing it, but every time that song comes on the radio, I look at Wendy and I said, "That's Scott Whitener. Sounds just like Scott Whitener." Let me ask this, and I don't want to get you in trouble with the Christian people, with the church people. That's not the reason for this question. It's not a trick question. But has there ever been a thought that this could turn into a country stint?
Well,
because the Oak Ridge Boys were doing gospel, and then they crossed over and did some country stuff. And you're doing the Elvis thing. You're doing the country gospel. Is there an opportunity?
Yeah. Well, yes and yes. Because here's the thing, Mick, and I'm just, my heart.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't really the music business. It's the people business.
Right. Most definitely.
Music's just the vehicle. Yes to both of those. Here's why. And I said this, I think probably we've had a little, in the Christian community, we've had, maybe a little, shoulder here or there, or we've maybe had someone to say, yeah, I'd love to use those guys, but they're too country.
Right.
Perhaps. I don't know that. Nobody said that to me. We here again, we still sing on a lot of things, but
yeah,
I'm just gonna put it to you. What's wrong with being an entertainer that loves Jesus? I mean, the guy that checked my groceries out yesterday at the Ingles store loves Jesus, but he runs a cash register.
Wow.
He's not a preacher.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good.
I mean, and the guy the guys who were just out here a little while ago, and they got that brand new garbage truck, and they picked up my nice can and dumped it back in that truck, and he's waving at me saying, "God bless you."
Yeah.
Because that dude loves Jesus. We've had many conversations out here where he should have been running his route, and he's out here talking to the old Baptist preacher man with long hair that sings country music.
Correct. I love it.
Since when was that wrong?
No, that's exactly what I'm getting at. Because that's my life right now.
Everything is right about it.
Correct. That is my life right now.
That first and foremost, that we are, that we don't just know Jesus, but that we are following him.
Correct.
And that doesn't have anything necessarily to do with our occupations or any of those things. I make no bones about it. And me and the boys make no bones about it. We're entertainers that love Jesus. And when the Holy Spirit shows up at one of our events, we get out of his way and let him operate. We don't do anything to hamper that. We do everything to promote it. But you've been behind that pulpit too.
Mm-hmm.
Lest the Spirit draw a man.
Come on. Well, that's the reason people ask me all the time. They're like, "Are you a Christian comedian?" I'm like, "No, I'm a comedian who happens to be a Christian."
Yes.
Because there's two totally different things there. And when you put yourself in that identification, you're saying certain things. Because I could see you guys. Because there's going to come a time where the Oak Ridge Boys are going to have to say, "Look, we can't travel anymore." I mean, my goodness, they're almost 90 now.
Why does everybody talk about this? Why does everybody talk about this?
I could see. Look, he just went away. He just went away because he knows we're going to talk about it.
Hold on.
He knows we're going to talk about it, and so he just goes off screen.
I have no idea where that went. What are we on here? There we are. No,
That was
I
convenient.
did that with my finger. You got to watch these iPads.
That was convenient. No, I mean, I could just honestly, I mean, the sound is there, the look is there. We opened up this interview with a conversation about tribute bands and the
Yeah.
fact that, you know, you guys are working with an Elvis impersonator. Why couldn't Carolina become an Oak Ridge Boys tribute band?
Well, I'll let you in on something. We are doing some Oak Ridge Boys tribute
Okay.
shows. We've been asked to do them. We did one for the Cleveland County Fair. That's the largest county fair in the state of North Carolina here last year. And we did it at the grandstands. Yeah, you know, there at the Cleveland County Fair, big crowd. I mean, we were cooking. We sung a ton of their hits.
Yeah.
You know, like the guys that we are. You know, we didn't sing "Trying to Love Two Women,"
Right.
or any of those things. Oh, I am so sorry. I'll be right back. I'm coming home. See, I'm gonna leave that thing alone. I'm getting these texts.
Yeah.
And I try to move them out of the way. It hits on them.
I love it.
But we've been doing those, and there are some others coming up. As a matter of fact, I just got a call today from the Don Gibson Theater here in town, and we love that place and love Don's music. But Stan Lowry called today to see about us doing one of those.
Wow.
At the Don
I
Gibson.
want to see that. I want to see it.
Well, if you ever get to shake loose working how do you squeeze in 697 shows a year? It's only 365 days.
Somehow we're doing it. I don't know.
We do them, and probably nothing would, it would be a very easy yes if somebody said, okay, they've retired. We're going to get behind you and keep this music alive.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
The only reason we wouldn't is if Ace and the guys said, yeah, we don't want that to happen.
Right.
You know, and then we're not going to do it, you know.
But my goodness, you talking about honoring your heroes.
What
better way to honor them?
Well, I figured, you know, I don't figure they're going to say we don't want that.
Right.
But
and when they're gone, they won't have a say.
They're going to want it done on a good level.
Exactly.
They're going to want it done on a high level. And of course, we open just about every night. We open with every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the opener for us. I mean, what a happy, great song to bring people together immediately. You know?
So if we're at Gospel Fest at Loretta Lynn's Ranch,
mm-hmm.
and let's just say it's Saturday night, and we've already got the Gatlins on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that, you know, when Carolina does their set that night, could it be an Oak Ridge Boys tribute set?
It sure could.
Because I'm thinking that would be fun.
Very easily it could be.
That would be fun.
You wouldn't be able to shoot the smiles off our faces with a 12-gauge shotgun.
I already know that I will be the one introducing you. So if I just happen to throw it out there, like, hey, I got an idea.
Yeah, well, we know we know a lot of we know all their hits, and we know a lot of their good gospel stuff that Gaither's recorded with them.
Right.
You know, that's and some of what you would call the crossover songs. You know, that are not necessarily a gospel song, but
they're not bad songs.
But it's not really you know, a country song either. It's just kind of a more of an inspirational kind of song, you know.
I just think I think that should happen. I'm just gonna call it what it is. When I introduce you that night, y'all just be listening.
We're gonna be there for 2 of the 3 days because we're at the Ark on the Thursday, and then we'll roll in. Then that's an afternoon, you know. That's 4 p.m. So we'll be in there probably
Oh yeah,
before
we're gonna make that happen.
Thursday night show is over.
Yeah, we're gonna
And,
make it happen.
and so, you
Just
know, we can
don't
do
talk to
a
anybody
regular.
else about it. Yeah, just don't talk to anybody else about it. That's just gonna be between us.
All right.
And if somebody
It's
says
cool,
something, I'll take it. I think it'd be good. So now listen, you're talking about the Ark, you're talking about Gospel Fest. We're talking about how people can actually travel with you guys. So let me give you a moment so you can just tell people exactly what they need to do as far as getting in touch with you, getting information, even if it's about Gospel Fest or about Carolina.
Sure. Well, let's make sure that we tag the Gospel Fest. You know, we are bringing a group with us, and we encourage everybody out there who will be seeing us at different places. We have those VIP tickets available to you at any of the shows, and all you got to do is just see me. Just see old Scott Whitener, or you can come to our Facebook page and hit on Messenger and come straight to the group's Messenger and hit us one-on-one, or you can go to the website carolinatheband.com and just put it in. There's a place for that. And so if you'd like to travel with us, we're going to be leaving Gastonia, North Carolina, to come that way. And you can travel with us, and it's an all inclusive 3-day thing. And so, you know, you just reach out to us on that, tell us what you want. And I don't mind giving the office number here, you know,
Okay.
704-678-1683. And you can just call. We'll answer the phone and talk to you about it and get you set up. We can do it all with a card right over the telephone and get you stuff mailed out to you, the next morning. Very
Scott
easy.
Whitener, I absolutely love you, man. I consider you a brother, and I just love hanging out with you guys. And that's what I'm looking forward to more than anything at Gospel Fest. Just being able to hang out. I mean, we don't have to be anywhere, don't have to go anywhere. We can just stay in one place and just shoot the breeze and just spend time together. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So people, go and check out Carolina. Just if you do nothing else but go to their Facebook page, like the page, keep up with them. Because if you thought some exciting days have already happened for Scott Whitener and Carolina, they got some bigger days ahead. You're going to want to be on the ground floor of that. Scott, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us about Gospel Fest and everything that's going on with Carolina.
You bet, Mick. And I can tell you, brother, and I always do, it was, as they say, it was love at first sight. You had me a hello, bro. And it's been great. It's just been great since then. Thank you for being real and for being on the level and for not building up walls.
Absolutely, buddy.
I dig you, man.
I love it. I love it. I want to open up for the tribute show. That's what I want.
Oh gosh, we would
the Oak Ridge Boys tribute show.
We want that to happen, but we'd probably need for it to happen too. But I think those people need to experience Mickey Bell too.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Scott Whitener of Carolina, you're going to be able to see him at Gospel Fest 2023. And we want you to go right now to gospelfest.co. And we want you to go ahead and make your plans to join us. In addition to the great music, there's going to be an arts and crafts show. We're also going to have the Coal Miner's Daughter car show. There's the vocal competition that you can be a part of. There's just so many things going on at this year's Loretta Lynn's house tour, also included. So much going on. Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, August the 23rd through the 27th. Gospel Fest. We want to see you.